Leon, Francis, John, we're celebrating 40 years of Pride of Kinston, downtown Kinston Revitalization this year. And what better way than to bring some people who have chaired, been on the board, current design committee chair, and also our current executive director. Leon, you've been there 7 years now, and 40 years.
Former director.
Yeah, former director, right. But 40 years, I mean, what are, John, I know you were chair twice, I believe.
Yep.
What are some major milestones you've seen over the years with Pride of Kinston DKR?
Pride has really evolved over the years. I remember when Buddy Rich and Mary Mack were involved. Mm-hmm. Good Lord, we had a good time. And we had a lot of people involved in Pride, and it just evolved greatly over the years. Of course, all towns ebb and flow,
right?
But no matter the size, small or large. But Pride has really done it over the years for a lot of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Francis, you were on the board and now serve on the design committee, so you've been involved in a lot of the beautification projects. Talk about one or two of those that have been really near and dear to your heart.
Oh, I just love doing the Shirley Heron Memorial Garden. That was really a lot of fun, and it turned out great. Far more beautiful than I ever even imagined. I mean, I knew it was going to be beautiful, and Tyler Potter did a great job designing, and the plantings he chose were just fabulous. And we had fun raising the money, and it was a great cause because everybody loved Shirley Heron.
Yep.
And all the efforts that she did downtown.
I used to see her on Saturday mornings with her, and she'd be right beside maybe the old Parrott brothers, and the back of her van was lifted up because she was getting some water out or another plant to put in a pot over there.
Yeah, and Charlie's red truck. You could see that. That was always fun.
A lot of times Charlie had to help with the water too.
That's right. So that was a really fun project.
That was a real transformational project for that intersection right there.
Yeah,
It's very impressive.
And the Boy Scouts helped, and with the arbors, and we just had a lot of people come together for that project because they loved her.
A new project's about to start is the All-America City Park, which is on Blount Street here in North Queen. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Leon asked me about a year ago, we are responsible for this park, and I said, well, it really needs a little bit of help.
I mean,
so Leon got the city to pull out some of the bushes, and I said, well, let's get another Boy Scout. So I called my young friend Charles Harper, and wanted to see if he wanted an Eagle project, and he said he did. Mm-hmm. So he and his scouts are gonna, his troop are gonna help do maybe a sensory trail. They're gonna maybe plant some bushes and maybe we're talking about doing a flag, and we're also going to have an art feature in the middle of that triangle. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a neat project. That's going to be really clean. It'll look really
spruce
slick.
It up again.
Mm-hmm. Maybe put a bench out there. There's a fountain there that doesn't work and hasn't. We're probably going to relocate that piece of art to another spot downtown, whatever Leon says we should do. And so that's going to be a fun one coming up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, and something that doesn't get a lot of attention, John, I know when you were chairman, you were on the board, the Harvey and Birdie parking lots there across from where the CSS News 2 is. Just think about you've got I think there's a parking lot right there behind Just Add Salt and Jay's 108 and
right.
Beauty Box. You got that park.
We did
all the parking from there all the way to the ABC store to King Street is all public parking. Yeah. Tell us about some of the projects on just developing those and how that has helped things with like businesses in downtown Kinston.
We were able to do a lot of stuff because I got a hold of some money. I got the Diamond property donated, and ended up selling it back to the people that contaminated for $500,000.
And the Diamond property is the property on South Heritage Street on the right hand side.
And it was one of 10 most contaminated properties in the state of North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And so when I was going to take it, they caught wind of it, called Pooh Rochelle, came out to see him and said, we understand Marston's going to take it. And he called me up and said, there's some people down there who want to know what you're going to do with it.
So the money from that property, what did you end up doing with it?
Oh, good Lord. I did the museum. I acquired that building since I'd been in it 20 years.
Mm-hmm. That's the CSS News Museum.
Yep, that's right. And I had a parking lot in the back. And I bought 3 more buildings beside it. Brody's building and a jewelry store and something else. Tore those down, gave those to the state. Well, I tried to give it originally to the state. They said, we can't afford to take it because we can't keep it up. I said, how about if I stay here in my building and I can pay enough rent to keep the whole thing up? They said, okay, we'll take it.
Leon, tell me some of the things that you've seen as you've been the director the last few years. What are some of the biggest things that you've been most proud of that the organization has tackled or been a part of?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is reinventing Christmas and making an economic development opportunity for us, and expanding it to include the lighting event in Pearson Park, which in 2018, when we started that, we raised $35,000 in 3 weeks on social media just to buy the tree and some lights and stuff. But we had turned on the lights that year with maybe 400 people attending. It was a nice event, and we had the tinsel trail cranked up again. Tanya Adams had tried that a couple of years ago before with the chamber, I believe. So now we've got over 1,500 people coming, and
Right.
it's kind of a big deal. Everybody's like, "Who's escorting Santa Claus this year into the park?" We had the stormtroopers.
I remember the stormtroopers, the Star
Yeah.
Wars
That's fun.
stormtroopers. Yeah, that was the kids love that,
Yeah,
isn't it? Francis, when you think about the evolution of downtown, I mean, you've been involved in some capacity or another for over 20 years. What are some of the evolutions that you've seen, the transformations you've seen that you're probably most proud of?
Well, the Maplewood Cemetery, that endeavor really, that turned out to be a really nice project years ago, and we're still working on it. In fact, we're getting the knee wall is going to have a list of all the donors. That's being handled by the end of this month by Joanna Dale and her husband Tim at Delco, and they're going to put up the sign that says Maplewood Cemetery. That was something we just never had finished.
What do you think the next 40 years for downtown Kinston look like?
Well, I hope we don't lose our small town charm, because that's what I really like. The sense of community, the way people come together, the way they rally behind you to help get things done and contribute time and money and whatever, because they love the community, that they want it to thrive. So I see the thriving happening, but I also see other transformations coming about. Like when I first got here, one of the things that I wanted to do was build a veterans monument. It was like nothing I've seen anywhere on Google image search or Pinterest or whatever, but it's not complicated. It's not tremendously expensive. That's going to be the great part about it,
Right.
but it'll be impressive as heck. I was told at the time that I could do that when the Queen Street redesign was completed, but
Right.
then it kind of got backburnered, and now it's resurrected itself. And so we've got that coming. We've found the location and work with the FAA and DOT and that sort of thing. All the hoops you have to jump through. But I want to see more residential downtown, and I want
Right.
to see that quickly, because the more people we have living downtown in market rate apartments and growing the middle class of our community, the better off we're going to be, because those spawn new businesses to
Yeah,
meet those
that's right.
individuals'
Right.
needs.
What is one message about DKR you'd like to leave people with?
Kinston's the greatest place on earth to live, period, bar none. I mean, it is.
Yeah, I've told this story many times. I came here for 6 months with First Citizens, and then never left. And I've been here 43 years, almost
Wow.
44.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing. Yeah, 43 years.
And I'm a downtown product. My home in Kinston growing up was a two-story Cape Cod home to the left of Harmony Hall. And on the other side of that was my grandfather's great big yellow mansion. And he opened Marston's drugstore downtown in 1895.
Right.
So I grew up downtown. And you couldn't get down the street on Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody came to Kinston, North Carolina to shop. Greenville, Raleigh, everywhere. It was amazing.
Well, thank y'all so much for joining us, celebrating 40 years of DKR, Downtown Kinston Revitalization, Pride of Kinston. I know, Leon, last thing, you've got this 40 for 40 campaign. Tell us about that, and then we'll close up.
Well, if you like what you heard here, and if you really like and appreciate all the efforts that's been done downtown and for the Kinston, and not just downtown, but the county, as a result of what's been happening downtown with the revitalization, go on downtownkinston.com and become a friend of DK with $40 donation.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a challenge with that, though.
Oh, tell us about the challenge.
The first person to donate $1,000 gets to throw Stephen Hill in his pool at the Mother Earth Motor Lodge.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Let's line up.
And if you could schedule that for a little bit later when it's colder.
I know, yeah.
It's gonna be
February.
great. Well, listen, thank you all for joining us.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your efforts in downtown Kinston. Leon, anything you want to end with?
I support downtown. Come downtown. Enjoy downtown. Push back on the negativity because it's just not real. It's not.
It's a great place to hang out. It
No
is.
place is perfect, but Kinston. When I put my foot outside the car, the minute I arrived here and my foot touched the pavement, I knew I was home. That had a vibe that I just didn't immediately connected with, and I haven't regretted moving here not 1 minute.
Perfect.
What's that old saying? Come for a visit, stay a while.
Right. Right. It's good.